Welcome to the Humble ISD Advanced Learning Podcast, where our goal is to talk about anything and everything related to advanced learning in less time than it takes for you to get from home to school or work. I'm Dr. Tong Udikrit, the Director of Advanced Learning for Humble ISD. Truly excited for our conversation today because if you've been following the show, you know that we do a lot to provide opportunities for our students here in Humble ISD, especially in that advanced learning space. But today, we get to hear directly from someone who gets to benefit from those opportunities, which is one of our amazing Humble ISD students. Joining me today for the conversation is Miss Jenna Watson, a member of the class of 2024 from the Atascocita High School. Welcome on, Jenna.
Thank you so much for inviting me today, and I am so excited to share my experience with advanced academics in Humble ISD.
Awesome. All right, Jenna, so starting off, I'd love for our listeners to know a few things about you, right? So she currently serves on our Superintendent Student Advisory Council. She's an AVID student leader, a member of Student Council and National Honor Society, and she's also a varsity tennis player. She wants to study environmental engineering in college, and she's already been accepted to Purdue, North Carolina State, the University of Texas, and Texas A&M, just to name a few. I know there's way more than that. And along with that, she's also been offered cumulatively of all these schools, she's sitting at over $100,000 in scholarship offers so far. So look, Jenna, that's amazing. Of all of these things, help our listeners know what you are the most proud of in your educational journey in Humble ISD.
I would have to say that I'm most proud of my involvement in the AVID program. AVID is a program that I am extremely passionate about, and it has given me so many opportunities to learn and grow as a leader and a student.
Can you help me and our listeners understand what role taking advanced courses played in your life and how you planned for those courses?
I've always been a high-achieving student, and I've had high aspirations for college. I mean, environmental engineering in general, that's pretty hard. So I knew that taking higher-level classes would be an essential part of my high school journey. I think that overall advanced academics have not only allowed me to develop the studying and organizational skills that I'll need to succeed in college, but have allowed me to challenge myself as well and build my resume to get me in a college that I know will help me be successful in the future. When selecting my courses for the next year, I always try to plan my advanced academic classes strategically. And so I choose classes that I think will best suit me intellectually and to kind of guide me towards that engineering career. So in choosing advanced academics, I have chosen classes that are more geared towards science or math to kind of gear me towards engineering. But I also really enjoy reading and writing, so I've challenged myself with English classes as well. And that necessarily hasn't made me competitive in class rank for top 10, but it still made me top 2.5%.
Yeah, which is nothing to be ashamed of. Let's be clear, right?
Yeah.
And I love the fact that you mentioned that it didn't have to be an all or nothing, right? Like you said, you knew you want to be an engineer. You know you want to pursue that. You know you love English, and so you chose those courses to be on the advanced track because of your passions and your goals. And you also knew that it was okay. Hey, maybe in the social studies space, I'll stick with on level just because, again, that mental health piece, the break piece, which is okay, right? And like you said, 2.5%. Top two, like Jenna, come on, you got to be proud of that. You know,
of course,
I think there's a lot of listeners that would sit here and listen and say, "Oh my goodness," right? Like the fact that you didn't have to say, "I am all in," right? Taking 5-6 advanced classes, like you were very strategic in it. And you're still up there in class rank, but you've also got a great balance going on as well.
Yes.
So I know you mentioned this a little bit earlier. You mentioned that your involvement in AVID is a huge part of your journey. Help us understand a little bit more about like why this love for AVID, like what's been so impactful for you? Yeah,
so I've been in AVID since 6th grade, so like 7 years at this point. And shout out to Miss Medina at AMS. Love her. She actually made me fall in love with the program, and it became something as I went through the years, something that I was extremely passionate about because I am so goal-driven towards college. It did appeal to me because it is a college prep course, and throughout middle school, it kind of establishes those studying, organizational, note-taking skills that really help to support you in your current classes, but also help you be prepared for managing yourself once you're in college.
And let me ask you this, right? Because I think one of the things that people sometimes ask questions about when it comes to advanced classes, we all know that we've got to take notes in advanced classes. You've got to learn how to study. And I mean, you said it yourself, you're a goal-driven student. You seem to be achieving very well academically. And so some people would assume, hey, a student like this who is already academically strong, like why would AVID, right, where you're talking about, okay, all these skills, like what was it about that you're a driven student, but yet you still wanted to pursue AVID? For what reason?
There are things that AVID has taught me that I otherwise wouldn't have known. The focused note-taking process, it has allowed me to form my own sort of studying process that has made me extremely successful. And also, beyond the academic value of AVID, the community value is something that has really stuck close with me. My best friend was an AVID in 6th grade. Like, that was a decision we made together, and we're still an AVID now. And so the community value of that is actually extremely beneficial because in other classes, you don't really get the opportunity to get to know a lot of people because you usually just stick with who you know in those classes if you are lucky enough to get someone that you know in those classes, definitely.
So, okay, so that's kind of the middle school experience that you had. Talk to us a little bit more about once you got into high school and your AVID experience there.
It was in high school that I actually had to start taking advantage of the AVID tutorials. Tutorials are where college students come in every week and we separate into groups and we bring something we're confused on. And then the college tutors and your peers will help guide you through your point of confusion is what it's called, via collaborative inquiry. So asking you questions to guide you through the process of thinking, so to help you figure out your point of confusion. Chemistry was a little bit difficult for me, and physics. So I took chemistry my sophomore year and I took physics my junior year. And I took advanced pre-calculus my junior year as well. And so anything I was confused on, I would bring to tutorials. And that really did help me because otherwise, without having AVID tutorials, I would not have gotten as high of grades as I did in those classes.
Well, I love that you brought out like the tutorial process, right? Because the big term for it, right, kind of that specialized term is that metacognitive piece, that thinking about your thinking, right? So you said that the key phrase there, right, that you had to identify a point of confusion to go into that tutorial process, right? So it's not like you just show up and say, oh, I don't get it, right? But there's actually a way in which you had to learn, okay, what about this concept, right? In physics, right? This is not low-level stuff, right? But in physics, what am I confused about specifically here so that I can start unpacking how to solve that problem, right? And how incredible is it to have that opportunity in school where you're learning how to build a study group, right? Because you said your peers are there with you. You've got a tutor there with you who's a college student, but you're also learning how to say, okay, this is what specifically I'm working through. Peers, let's kind of dissect this together and create that network of learning built into that school day. So along with the academic supports, let's talk about what else has AVID been able to provide for you as it relates to maybe some opportunities. I know there's some fee deferrals there. Can we talk a little bit about that?
Yes. So this is one of my favorite talking points. So junior year, you get an SAT fee waiver. So you get 2 free SATs. And through that SAT fee waiver, you can apply for fee waivers for college applications. College applications are crazy expensive. You have to put down like $70 to $120 towards a school that might not even accept you. And so I've saved over $1,500, definitely way over. That's kind of just a rough estimate.
Just ballpark.
Yeah, so I applied to 20 schools because I had the fee waiver, and it didn't cost me anything to apply. So I had the opportunity to just say, well, the worst thing they can do is tell me no.
Exactly.
Just apply anywhere.
That's awesome. Now, you referenced this a little bit earlier when we spoke about AVID student leadership, right? So we've got our AVID elective course, right, that's available at our middle schools and high schools that you've been a part of. But along with that, we've built in an AVID student leadership program. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and your experience there?
Yes. So I was among the first group in 2020 who was able to participate in the AVID Leadership Academy with Rice University that was led by Mr. Tim Harrison. And so every year there are seminars and workshops that help to kind of guide you through what being a leader means and help you determine what kind of leader you are. And so this year, as I mentioned earlier, in January, I worked with 4 other people from across the district, amazing people, wonderfully creative. And we put together our own presentation that took everything that Mr. Tim Harrison taught us over the last 4 years and helped us apply it in our own words and leave our own legacy for the incoming AVID leaders. So now that we're kind of at the tail end of that cycle, the new cycle is starting. And it is, being an AVID leader is kind of like an officer position. So we do get called on a lot to do some extra things. But mostly at its core, the AVID Leadership Academy is those workshops that help define leadership on a personal level.
Right. And I think a lot of our adult listeners would say too, right? When it comes to success, a lot of it does boil down to those leadership soft skills that getting that opportunity, right? So I want you to think about this. We've had opportunities for the academic piece. We've had opportunities for the social and collaboration piece with your peers and being able to work together in that community. And then we're also working on this leadership development piece, which is huge for us, which I think is just wonderful. All right, look, you've done a lot of things and you got a lot going on. So tell us a little bit about life outside of school. Like, how have you found time to balance all the things that you've done along with things that you're personally passionate about?
Yeah, so choosing my classes strategically has allowed me to have a little less stress and a little less work. And I also take advantage of whatever free time I have during the school day. So then when I get home, I don't necessarily have anything to do, especially since I have after school practice because I play varsity tennis. And so one of my personal pursuits is writing a fantasy novel, which I started in 8th grade, and it's 121,000 words now.
Oh, wow.
I'm on the 4th draft, and I sent it out to some beta readers, and I'm waiting on their input. And the goal is to self-publish by the end of the school year, and because it is something that I have worked on for so long, and to be able to work on it, I like to kind of compartmentalize and schedule out my time. So when I get home, I work on whatever homework I might have left, and then I also work on college applications and scholarship applications. And so because of that, I have free time before I go to bed to work on my book. And it's hard work, but it's a lot of fun. And because it's something that I'm really passionate about, it's something that I'm able to and willing to do.
So a lot of our listeners have students at different points in their educational career, right? So some are elementary school age, some are middle school, some in high school. What advice would you like to give students and parents as they're planning out their educational plan?
I think the best piece of advice I can give, and it's because it's something I tell myself all the time, is to not get overwhelmed by the unknown, by what might happen in the future. There have been a lot of times where I have taken these advanced classes, and at the beginning of the year, I freak out, and I think, oh, I'm going to have to drop this, because it is kind of, there is a last point to drop, and then you're kind of stuck in the class. So that always kind of freaked me out a little bit. But then I always ended up doing fine in those classes. And so there really was no need for me to worry as much as I did. And as long as you're open to communicating to the people who support you, who are there to support you, it will work out just fine. And there's something else that I tell myself that oddly enough gives me some peace of mind, and it's that the passage of time is inevitable. That sounds a little foreboding, but it kind of, because I do freak out about things that are about to happen, certain dates that I have something scheduled for. But there's nothing I can do to stop me from getting to that particular day. So telling myself that whatever happens, happens.
Right.
That kind of helps.
And I think that's great to keep in mind. Again, for a lot of our listeners, especially those that might be in high school currently, sometimes, like you were saying, those advanced courses can be really daunting, right? And surrounding yourself with that support network, surrounding yourself with those people that can help lift you up in those occasions, and then keeping in mind, you know what? At the end of the day, time is going to pass. It's going to go on, and ultimately it will be fine, right?
Yeah.
Regardless of what's going on at the moment. All right, I want to get a little bit more personal, Jenna. What is one piece of advice that you would have liked to give to freshman Jenna or 8th grade Jenna, knowing what you know now as a senior?
I think other than the pandemic is not going to be the end of the world, because that was my 8th to 9th grade transition, I would have to tell younger me that her voice has the power to change a great many things as long as she's not too afraid to speak up. My ambitions and my voice have opened so many pathways for opportunities that would have otherwise been not been available to me. And because of that, I've been able to build a resume that I'm extremely proud of and get into some schools that are just another stepping stone into a future that I hope is very bright.
Oh, it's going to be absolutely very bright. Just again, I know that our listeners hearing you talk, I mean, you're very articulate. You're a young woman who knows her goals and aspirations. And I love the fact that, Humble ISD, AVID, we were able to play a small part in that journey for you, because I know ultimately a lot of that is because of your drive and your ambition, but just to be able to say, hey, we were able to kind of be a part of that journey is hugely important for us. So thank you for letting us be a part of that journey with you.
And thank you for this opportunity, and thank you to Humble ISD for giving me the opportunity to challenge myself, and also giving me something to be passionate about, because I am extremely passionate about AVID. I do whatever I can to spread the word about AVID to middle schoolers, to incoming high schoolers, so we can help build the program and help as many people as possible.
That's awesome. Jenna, I really appreciate you coming on our podcast today. Obviously, you've earned so many significant accomplishments during your time here. We're proud of you. We know that you're going to go far. I know several of our listeners will be grateful to use your experience as they're helping their own students guide their way through Humble ISD. And that's all the time we have today for the Advanced Learning Podcast. You can follow us on social media on X at HumbleISD_ADV. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you can be notified when we drop a new episode talking about anything and everything related to advanced learning. This is Dr. Tom Uticrit, and this has been the Humble ISD Advanced Learning Podcast, keeping you ahead of the learning curve in Humble ISD.